Yeah, welcome to another episode of The Round Circle with your host, the Fifth General, Zaccheus and Cinemascapes. What's good?
Yeah. What's up?
All right,
What's good?
We've been waiting for this episode. It's been a while since we did an album review. We're gonna talk about Nas's Lost Tapes 2. We're gonna do something different other than just reviewing the album. We're gonna talk about basically from Lost Tapes 1 to Lost Tapes 2, and we're gonna try to figure out the timetable of when these songs were recorded. We're gonna have to make a guess and try to see whatever songs fit with a particular vibe of Nas' previous albums and his last 4 albums or whatever. We'll kind of guess from that. So, all right. Let's get into it. Now, the album, to me, there's more songs on here to talk about. I count this as more of a compilation project as opposed to a studio album. And I'm only doing that because that's how he's counting it. So that's the only reason why I'm doing that. Because same thing with Lost Tapes 1. Lost Tapes 1 was good, actually. Some good songs was on that. But that was more so of a compilation album composed of songs that didn't make the cut from previous albums and were thrown on that. Just like with this album, just like with Lost Tapes 2. So actually, I'm going to let Cinema go first. So off air, we said that we was going to be particular about certain records. Not so much that we was going to do some big, huge recap of every song, but just the high moments of the album, anything that we liked, anything that we really liked, and then we'll be critical of what we didn't like, because what's a real review without an actual critique? You know what I'm saying? Right. So we're all Nas fans, but we're gonna be non-biased, because I'm going to keep it real with my score. We'll give our score. All three of us will give our individual scores at the end. All right? So the album dropped the 19th. Okay? I was waiting for this album, because it's Nas. It's been a while since we heard him since Nasir. And we did a review of Nasir's album last season. And our critique is that the album was too short. And because it was too short, it hindered our score. Every song, we said that your margin of error needs to be minor. The less songs you make, the lower your margin of error should be.
Right. Now
we have 16 records on this album, so we have more to critique, but it still could be on it. Our scores will kind of show. I already know what my score is. It might match up with what we thought of Nasir. Who knows? Who knows? And then I'll explain why. All right.
I understand.
Right. So now, Cinema. What? Okay. What? Let's start with the records. Let's do something different. Let's start with the records you didn't like.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Look, track 2 was kind of
Vernon Family.
Yeah. Lyrically, yeah.
Right.
Beat wise, nah. Then you go all the way back to who we go past Who Are You?
Right.
Let's get to like where we have adult film, War Against Love, and some of the things in there.
Right. Right.
So it's like Vernon Family, adult film. I kind of like the art of it, so I'm not gonna mess with that.
Yeah.
And then the end of the album was strong to me again, but it's like you hear No Bad Energy, you're coming off a vibe, and then Vernon Family was like weird to go there.
Yeah.
But you don't know how to I know everybody's not gonna like the Al Jarreau one, so because that's more of a jazz, that's an experimental track.
Yeah.
But me being, I'm an Al Jarreau fan, and then I like the trumpet because it reminded me of old Madcap, Proof is in the Pudding type stuff.
Yeah.
So that's the artistic jazzy thing of hip hop. That's usually not Nas's steez. So
right.
So when you talk about that, and then yeah, that's about
Okay.
Highly Favored was a little bit. Highly Favored was a little half and half for me, but this is all based on first listen, not like total immersion yet. Because with Nas, stuff grows on you.
Yeah.
So this is these are initial reactions. So out of that, Vernon Family, adult film, Highly Favored. War Against Love isn't whack.
No, the tone of it is a little slower, but it's not a banger. I get what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's something that War Against Love might hit me down the line when I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that, because there's stuff that's a little above that, but I'm not going to mention that with that group of songs. So those were the ones, your
least favorites, I guess you would say.
Let's go by. I'm listening through the whole album and I'm like, I kind of wish I could skip through this, but I still need to listen to this.
Right.
Type vibe came up.
Right. Okay. All right. Zaccheus, any opinion on the same question? Any songs your least favorite?
I have to go with Al Jarreau because when I first heard it, I was like, okay, it's a little different. It's not really a style like that, but I mean, that was my least. I would say that was my least, and then the second least, I will go into adult film. That was my second least.
Yeah,
it's my second least, and then the third would be Highly Favored. But those are the three. But overall, I was just feeling it, because I'm like, man, but those are my least favorite though. 3 of the whole album.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, because I had time. I was breaking it up day by day listening to this album because they had 16 songs on it though, so.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I would say for me, similar to what y'all talking about. Here's what I want to say about Jarreau rap. I think we should probably go back and analyze this record. Okay. Nas has done some records. Nas has always been an artist who has been lyrically on point, right? But he's always been, in sometimes, his production, the beats that he would spit on and his selection of music would be sometimey. It would be sometimey. It wasn't always sometimey. I'm going to tell you when that started. That started with Nostradamus album. Because Nostradamus album was the first album that was the first album that was his weakest. Now it ended up not being his weakest later on, and I'll tell you what I felt was his weakest. But Nostradamus was his weakest up until that point, and that album had a lot of records on it that was subtimey. But it also, what I mean by subtimey is sometimes you feel it, sometimes you don't. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's
sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes
you don't. You know what I'm saying?
Joy's got nuts, mounds don't.
So you know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where it doesn't blend well with the rest of everything.
Right.
And that didn't start for Nas until that album, in my opinion. So on this Lost Tapes 2, there's some things that are sometimey where you hear it the first time and then you say, "Aight," but then you don't want to hear it the second time. Okay? So that's how I feel with Jarreau rap. Jarreau rap is not a song that I'm always going to be peeping. And then Nas has done records on movie soundtracks that were kind of like this vibe. where it wasn't necessarily a Nas album cut, but it was a Nas record for somebody else's project. And that's how I felt with Jarreau Rap. And then like you said, Cinema, you said this probably would have made sense on Al Jarreau's album. And then it probably would have been judged differently. Because you would have said, oh, well, this makes sense for it to be on this project. You know?
Yeah. Can I say something real quick?
Go ahead.
This doesn't even seem like a Nas song. This seems like more of a Freestyle Fellowship song. You remember that group?
Yeah.
Freestyle Fellowship. Oh.
But boundaries, you know, that's something they would do.
Right.
I wouldn't expect this from Nas. So like if this wasn't a mix for me, I would mix it with my Freestyle Fellowship and my jazzy rap.
Right.
You know, I wouldn't expect to hear this on a Nas project at all.
This would have made
I like the song, but I don't like the song in this context.
No,
like where it is placed on this album.
Right.
Like I have to put it with like material to appreciate.
Well, it's like this. The first song that Nas leaked was Lost Freestyle. That was the first.
Right.
That was his first promotion, right? So you hear that, and then you already have a mood now. You're like, oh, this is what Lost Tapes 2 is going to sound like? Okay. And then you hear Jarreau rap, and you're like, well, wait a minute.
Right.
So
it's third song in before you even get to Lost Freestyle.
Exactly. So it's like so when Nas was promoting the album, Lost was the first joint he leaked, and then he leaked Jarreau rap right before the release. So okay, now we hear the album, and then it goes back to what we just said. Now you hear the album, and you go from song to song, and Jarreau rap on the track title, on the track list is before Lost Freestyle. You know what I'm saying? So this album peaks up and down. So my least favorite records, I know I'm long-winded. It took me a while to get to that, but so Jarreau rap is one of my least favorite. Vernon Family, one of my least favorite. Second time around, I skipped that record.
Same.
You know, adult film.
Even though I like what he's saying on it.
Right. Now we're gonna get to the lyrics. Now we're gonna get to the lyrics later because now I have this other thing with him when it comes to, you know, lyrics and beats when it comes to him. So now, adult film, not a record that I care for. That should have been on Swiss Beats compilation project. Okay.
Right.
It's more appropriate for a compilation project, somebody's project, maybe a Swiss album or a DJ Khaled album or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Let's see. I'm not a big fan of Queen's Wolf. So
Queen's Wolf,
yeah, that's the one after Highly Favored.
Right, but the whole thing about Queen's Wolf is it's not as low as the other ones to me, but it's not as high as the other ones to me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
what about
So let's see. Highly Favored is actually all right. It's one of the lower tier records, but I wouldn't say it's my least favorite, but I would say Vernon Family, Jarreau Rap, Queen's Wolf. I really don't like
Queen's Wolf. Yeah,
you know those records. I don't really care for those. So let's not waste any time. Now let's go into our most favorite, I guess, or you could say very likable tracks.
Okay,
I'm gonna start with Zaccheus with this one. You go ahead, Zaccheus.
Yeah, well, off the back, I'm gonna just go with "No Bad Energy" produced by Swiss Beats. I had to listen to that twice because I enjoyed No Bad Energy. You know, the intro is phenomenal. It made me think that this is another classic. It's gonna be in another classic book or another phenomenal classic. You know, with the thumbs up, and I listened to it maybe one more time. You know, the record's good when you gotta listen to it one more time.
Okay. You know what? Hey, before you do that, let's kind of all get an opinion on that. Cinema, what's your take on No Bad Energy? You said that was one of the songs that you actually liked as well.
It caught me by surprise.
Okay.
Because basically, before I listened to Lost Tapes 2, I listened to Lost Tapes 1 again.
Mm-hmm.
Because I wanted to get in the vibe.
Yeah.
And then that track came on. I didn't expect a track like that. Then I didn't expect them to come on it like that. I was like, okay.
Right.
Okay, we're going somewhere with, I wonder what this is for. Because sometimes it ain't that the song isn't good, it's that it just got cut because it didn't fit a concept.
Right.
Sometimes. But that was, that one caught me by surprise. And I was like, yo, yeah, I kind of, they kind of experimented and it worked.
Yeah, see?
Yeah. Okay. Zaccheus, what's the next joint you say you like?
Yo, I like you. You mean the world to me. Produced by me. Yeah, I like that joint, man. I mean, man.
Yeah.
Speak more about that because what's the concept? So the concept is good, but the beat, the production catches you, right?
The production catches me a whole lot. Yeah, that really hit home for me, the production and everything. So
now let's go into who produced that record, just to kind of help us talk about it. This song was produced by Kanye. Now I'm gonna go ahead and guess because we also said we was gonna kind of guess when these songs probably should have been released or whatever when he was recording them.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go ahead and guess that this was done around the same time Nasir was done.
Nasir, okay.
Because Nasir was a mostly Kanye West produced album. Come to find out, there were one or two tracks that Kanye actually didn't do, and one of them was Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve wasn't really produced by Kanye.
What?
Yeah, and that explains why the song sounded like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
but that song is fire.
Right. It's so Kanye did on Nasir real quickly. He did co-producing as well. So he was there and he was part of it, but it later was revealed that there was some co-producing on that project, So yes. So and actually I guess we have some proof with this because there are other production credits on here. You have somebody named Leroy Hudson. So it's possible that he might have had something to do with with You Mean the World to Me being produced other than just Kanye.
Man.
Well, actually, hold on. Leroy Hudson might be the credit from the actual sample that's from. That might be why that's there. Actually, I stand corrected. I think that's probably why that's there.
Yeah.
So anyway, produced by Kanye, dope record. I like what he's saying on it. The tone is good.
The tone is good.
That should have been on the album.
Yeah, Leroy Hudson is a singer.
Okay, then exactly. That's why his credit is there. So yeah, he this should have been on Nasir's album. What you think, Cinema? Same opinion.
Should have took off Cop Shot and put that in.
That's the last album. Yeah.
Track 2 should have been removed, and this track should have been put later. This track could have went after Adam and Eve. It would have been ridiculous.
Yeah. If that was on Nasir, the album should have. You Mean the World to Me probably should have ended Nasir, or at least one of the last. You know what I'm saying?
Right, and it would have taken my score up.
It would.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a nice track. Zaccheus, what's the next record you
Tenacia, produced by the RZA.
All right, let's take our time.
Right, because all of us like that one.
Okay.
Yeah, that brought me back to that's like boom bap era right there.
Now,
right there is like because
let's take our time with this record.
Those who don't know the RZA is a legendary RZA for the Wu that produced the Wu beats, classical Wu albums. So and an MC2. RZA is an MC2. So those who don't know out there, he's an MC2, and he did production. And he did production for the Wu. So this I definitely felt this one because I had to look at the credit look at the credits and I said, wow, the RZA produced this one. No wonder I like this. Okay, cool.
Now let me say this real quick. Yeah. There's not a lot of timeless records on Lost Tapes too. but this song is.
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm.
So this is my favorite song off this album. And I didn't even know RZA produced it until I looked at the credits later on, and I said, "No wonder." Now let me kind of get into a familiarity with this record. This beat is if anybody heard Knife Prince, which is RZA's little brother, first album, Granddaddy Flow, he did a song. Knife Prince did a song with TMF, and this was the same similar beat. So that caught my attention first because I said, hold on, this sounds familiar. And then I said, this sounds like some Killer Army type of stuff. Because, Knife Prince is from Killer Army,
Killer Army, yes.
So I was like, okay, this has a, here's the thing. This song, this beat, let's talk about the production real quick. And we were also RZA fans individually too.
Yeah.
Does this have a Grave Diggers tone?
Yeah,
it does.
But then, the way Nas flips it like that story, it's just, because that's what Grave Diggers did. Because you got RZA and Prince Paul. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That was, we could talk about that, but to keep it moving, that set the tone.
Yes.
Like there's sometimes, when you produce a beat, the beat's gonna set the tone.
It is. It should.
On the beat.
It should.
It should. But there's just sometimes, like even if the writer has a concept, it's just you hear the beat, or it's it's like when I heard the beat that Fifth did for the Genesis. I said, this song's already written.
Yeah.
I already have the concept for this, but this song is written.
Yeah.
But then I rewrote the verses for the beat. Right. Not like what I had, because the beat dictated what needed to be there. Because I had a whole song and a concept, but then when I heard that beat, I'm like, no, this is what it is.
Exactly.
That's one of those type of beats that, okay, let's go. When you hear that beat, okay, I got to dig into this. This is telling me a story. That's how good the production is on that track.
Yeah.
That I literally pulled over in my car and was like, hold up, gotta rewind this.
Yeah. This one's
get a single play.
This one, yes, this song specifically has a lot of replay value. And for like Zaccheus, you said this is a throwback because it's more of a boom bap sound. Yeah. Now I'm trying to figure out how old this song is, because I'm gonna go ahead and say that RZA should have been a little greedy with this beat. He probably should have saved it for the Clan. Okay, right. Because when I hear this beat, I hear Jizza, I hear RZA, I hear Master Killer, I hear Ghostface. I hear them spitting on this record.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a Wu-Tang, it's a Wu-Tang sound first.
Yes.
Right, but for me, I'm guessing this is after the Triumph album when they weren't working together for a while.
Dang, you think that beat is that old?
You guys had a Mr. Z and Fifth when y'all were talking about how you haven't heard the Wu-Tang sound on a Wu-Tang album in a while.
That's true.
Yeah.
On Mr. Z and Fifth, y'all had that episode.
We did.
And I kind of agreed with it, even though I wasn't there to talk.
Right. We were reviewing the Saga Continues album.
Exactly.
And we were saying that the Wu-Tang sound that we grew up to listening to hasn't been on a Wu-Tang production in several years. And this was a Wu-Tang sound. I get what you're saying. You're saying that it's possible the beat could have been that. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and guess how old I probably think it is.
Right.
Let's go to, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we might be a little over the place, but not really. Let's go to Wu-Tang's list. So maybe around the time of, let's see, maybe
Wu-Tang Forever? No.
Maybe some after Wu-Tang Forever, after the W, maybe around the time of the W and Iron Flag. Maybe around that. Yeah,
that's a good time because
maybe around that time. The reason why I'm saying around that time because RZA was still doing beats on this level around that time.
Right.
Yeah.
It changed when
because Iron Flag was
exactly. It changed when 8 Diagrams came out. You didn't hear that RZA sound anymore like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So maybe it was around the time of the W and Iron Flag, and that's a guess. But this is a dope record.
Right.
I love this record. This is a record that I'm always gonna refer to later on. I like the record. I believe it's a timeless record for him. And it stands out on the album. No other song is really messing with this album. No other song on this album is really messing with that song. Okay? Yeah. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go out and be very brave here and say that Nas probably hasn't had a song like this in years.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
With this feel, Denasia, he hasn't had I'm talking about the beat-wise. He hasn't. It's been a while since he spit on something like this.
Right.
Oh yeah, it's been a long time. It's been. Oh man.
Yeah.
90s. Yeah.
Okay. So let's move on. Go ahead, Cinema. Go ahead.
Zaccheus was still telling us his favorites.
Okay. Yeah. No, we're going back. We're going back to Zaccheus because. All right. What's the next joint you was feeling on here, Zaccheus?
Yo, for some part, I was feeling beautiful life.
Okay. Speak on that and then hand it to Cinema because Cinema has some stuff to say about it off air.
Yeah, Beautiful Life was a different record. It was a longer record. It was like 6 minutes, but I still felt the vibe. I still felt the flow.
Yeah.
And it's just the way how he was flowing over the instrumental. I was like, man, this is the Nas that we all love and knew from the time when he started from on. He just keeps it authentic.
Mm-hmm.
Instruments authentic, and I love that. Keep it authentic and not trying to change for nobody, So just keep it, keep it him, and it's him, So Beautiful Life was one of the records I felt too on this album, and Beautiful Life and Freestyle, Lost Freestyle. I listened to that more than once. I listened to that record.
Lost Freestyle was dope. Before we get to Lost Freestyle, Cinema, you had something to say about Beautiful Life.
Who produced Beautiful Life?
That was produced. Excuse me. Oh my God.
Mass Appeal? I don't know.
Hold on. I almost got it.
I got it. Beautiful Life was produced by No ID.
Oh, okay. Now I can go. Because that's who produced Common's second album.
Yep.
Which is Resurrection, which is one of my favorites.
Yes.
Oh.
Number one, the way No ID produces. We talked about this when we did Jay's album.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
But I'm gonna speak on this. The fact he had him rock, I mean, the beat doesn't come into the second verse.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's killing it on a bass line.
Yeah.
I'm sitting, and then Nas is going Nas. And then the beat's not typical. And then the vocal was great.
Mm-hmm.
But Ravon is great vocals.
Yeah.
But the way that was put together, and it just gave Nas. We talk about beats making a story. I put of course, Tenacia to me is the best track on the album.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but this hit me, and I wasn't. I was like, at the Queensbridge politics. I would, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
I was like, I was already I was in a way after I heard that.
Right.
So then, I'm like, there's one more track. What, then this hits me.
Yeah.
I mean, this hit me in the heart. And then the way the production and then the poetry, because that's the thing. Nas is not only a lyricist, he's a poet.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
yes, he is. Yes.
I'm like, I was like, why wasn't Beautiful Life and Tenacia on the project?
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah.
I want to know the story because nothing ain't touching Tenacia, but this was no joke.
It's a concept song for a concept album.
Right.
And you're right. It should have been on probably the Life is Good album because that's the vibe it fits. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And basically, the track production is not normal. There's no ID will experiment and do what he does.
Yeah.
And to me, it was like he's rapping on a symphony.
Yes.
And then the beat comes in with the thing. And the beat's not a regular beat. It's more of a fill.
Yeah.
But oh my, I can't even verbalize all I feel about this. Because, you know, this is another one that made me go repeat. And I'm like, what? And I said, I got to hear that again.
Again,
you know,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm working on an album right now. Y'all know, but they don't. But I'm working on an album right now. And this kind of just like, am I even really trying? You know, with something that, you know, I was like,
yeah.
But I didn't look up. No ID makes total sense. RZA, no ID, you know.
Yeah.
You know the pedigree.
Yeah.
But it's just, and then you know, Nas gets personal always.
Yeah.
He's one of the first that got personal.
Mm-hmm.
And that thing, this song, I ain't gonna lie, no front. This song hit me dead in the heart.
Wow.
I was feeling this, and this hit me on a level. This is one of those things that hit me on one of those levels where, like, I used to love her hit me.
Right. Okay.
I used to love her. Yeah.
Well, that makes sense because that's a no ID. It makes sense as far as who the producer is.
Right.
And Nas and Common are similar anyway.
Right.
In a lot of ways. They both start. Exactly.
And they're concept driven.
Exactly. There's a lot of thought and effort put into a song with them. They know how to structure a song. They're real artists.
Oh yeah.
So it makes sense. It makes sense for that type of feel for that song. Zaccheus, we're gonna kind of push us along. What's the next record?
Man, oh man. Because I was writing some stuff down that I really was feeling too and everything. I think Venom was one of the joints I was listening to.
No, you're talking about Vernon family.
Vernon, yeah. Was just the joints I was listening to, and I was like, man, I listened to it again. I just needed to. I played it, and I said, oh yeah, this is another good joint too.
Okay,
it's another good joint too. So I said,
we kind of mentioned
it's produced by Pharrell.
That's produced
by Pharrell.
Yeah,
Pharrell. So I was like, okay.
Okay, I mean that was part of our least favorite, but let's kind of let me kind of move it to this one, Queensbridge Politics.
Exactly.
Okay, produced by Pete Rock.
Yeah,
makes it you could tell by the sound. Now this was his tribute to Prodigy, largely. Let me just say that I'm actually glad Nas did this. We've been waiting for this.
Right. And we've been talking about this.
We've been talking about this for a while now. And this is basically Nas's statement, you know, about Prodigy, his friend. You know, it doesn't matter what happened with that little small beef they had. It wasn't even real. That was going to be solved anyway. That's just young stuff. But he loved that man. And Prodigy loved him too. You know, you let Havoc tell it. You know, Mobb Deep had both Havoc, Prodigy had a good relationship with Nas. And so good that when Nas dissed Prodigy and vice versa, Havoc stayed out of it. He didn't choose sides. Although some people felt like he should have, but he didn't. Because he knew that they was going to work that out. Because even Havoc and Prodigy had to work their issues out. And they did before they died. I'm glad they did. You know, they was able to do like 2 projects together after that.
That's crazy because they're both from Queensbridge, you know. But I remember looking on YouTube like in 1995, 94. No, it was 95 when Raekwon was on the Raekwon was there too.
You talking about on Yo MTV Raps?
Yo MTV Raps.
Yeah, that episode. Yeah,
a good episode. And I was looking at them like, man, there was in a cipher, you know, and I was like, man, you know, these guys are from Raekwon was the only one from Staten
Island.
But
yeah. Well, that basically showed you that showed you that showed you that Staten Island / Wu-Tang Queens kind of connection. And that is something that Wu-Tang has had with Nas and Mobb Deep for years, and then other Queens artists. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I admired about Wu-Tang. There was always a affiliation with them, because
Staten Island and in Queens and Staten Island kind of has had a connection over the years too.
And I think they still do, and largely as part of that is because of Wu-Tang. But I think also because of the borough's makeup is somewhat similar in some way, although Queens is more built up. But as far as it's larger, but Queens is segregated just like Staten Island.
Exactly.
So it has that same kind. It has that same kind of vibe. And a lot of people from Queens don't really know that about Staten Island. Vice versa, people from Staten Island don't know that about Queens. They assume Queens is like a Brooklyn. It's not. You know what I'm saying? So it's not in my opinion. I mean, somebody from Queens could probably prove me wrong. Maybe parts of Queens is like a Brooklyn, but altogether, we know who runs Queens. Okay? So
we don't even gotta go.
We ain't gotta go there. That's a different episode. You know what I'm saying? But I'm actually glad that Nas did a tribute to Prodigy. Anything else, Cinema, you want to get in about that record?
Oh, just classy, just the honor and death line. That all the beef before don't matter. Just love that.
Exactly.
Just loved everything about that record.
Yeah.
You know, Pete Rock's one of my people. Pete Rock's why I bought an MPC.
Yeah.
Pete Rock and Peace 586.
Exactly.
Reasons why I bought a MPC.
And we can go into another Pete Rock produced record, and that's The Art of It.
Oh yes.
You know, it has a Pete Rock tone. You know what's so interesting about this project, real quickly, is that there are producers these are producers who have been doing stuff for a long time. You know, Nas definitely stuck with, with the songs that he picked to put on Lost Tapes 2. He kind of stuck with his era as far as where he comes from, because that's RZA, that's Pete Rock, that's No ID. You know, they all come from the early 90s. So I just thought that's interesting. You know what I'm saying? It would have been dope if he had a Q-Tip record on here, because it would have been because we're talking about producers he worked with since his first album. You know, and you know what? Here's what I want to oppose to Nas. I think Nas should do another album with the same people he worked with on his first album. Kind of did that with Stillmatic, but I think he should really hook back up with Q-Tip, Pete Rock, Premier. I think he need to get with those brothers again and produce a project. I mean, it was already rumored that Primo was working with Nas. You know what I'm saying? We've been hearing this years ago. So it would definitely be dope. Dope record. We got to kind of move this along. I'm sorry, but let's go into this record right here. It Never Ends. It Never Ends is paying homage to Biggie, because he used a verse from Biggie that Biggie spit on the freestyle when he was freestyling with Pac. You know what I'm saying? At the Tunnel. And this was an Alchemist record. Alchemist is another Queens Mobb Deep family kind of affiliation. I like hearing Nas. I like hearing Nas on Alchemist stuff. You know, Alchemist has done stuff for Nas, throughout Nas's career. He definitely did some good work on the Godson album. So, definitely a good song there. I don't want to take
where the album picked back up, because after Highly Favored and Queen's Wolf.
Yes, you're right. It Never Ends made me. It did pick it back up. Lost Tapes 2 has a peaks. It peaks up, goes down, peaks up, goes down. A lot of people don't realize that what you put in song order kind of makes up a vibe of a project.
Right.
You know, song order is important. And I don't think a lot of people realize. We realize that because we're also artists too. And we've done that with our projects.
It's something I grapple with for a long time because you got to think, how do I want to come in? What do I want to say? How do I want to go out?
Yeah, and you go.
And I want to say all this without it dragging.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. And you know what? You know, it definitely lines up. This project. I mean, if I were to compare this to Lost Tapes 1, Lost Tapes 1 is better, but also that was an earlier time. I mean, we're talking about a time where Nas was younger.
Right, 2002.
Exactly. So there was.
So most of that was 90s stuff.
Exactly.
That hadn't come out.
There was more heat at that time with Nas. You know what I'm saying?
And you had that early Nas that was, you know, there was a hunger.
Exactly.
All of us.
Yes.
Like when you
so
do it,
true.
when you do it for a while, you don't have that hunger like when you first started.
Right.
Yeah.
When dudes is hungry, they just gonna slay in the kitchen.
Yeah.
That's what, you know.
So true.
How do you feel about this album lyrically? Cinema, you go first.
I always think Nas is on point lyrically.
Yep, absolutely.
Sometimes I think he, you know, like Inspector Deck's album suffered from beats. You know, it's
yeah.
Talking first album, not the ones past. Only the first one for Inspector Deck.
Well,
not the second album. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm not talking whole career. I'm talking one album.
Yeah, I think
that next album was fire because it came with it. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That first album had some fire verses, and the beats didn't deserve those verses.
Right.
Okay,
that's how I'll say it.
Okay, yeah.
Not that the artists themselves were lacking.
Right.
It's that the combination of the lyrics and that beat weren't the ideal choice.
You're saying that because of the type of lyricist that we know Inspector Deck is.
Right.
Because he's an elite lyricist.
Exactly.
In the clan. So I get what you're saying. And
so
you're
giving them subpar beats. So when you get here, like, you know, you get to some of this, it's like, why would you even give that beat to Nas, even if he wanted it?
Well, you know, and remember I was saying Nas has been sometimey with beats, but not sometimey with lyrics. That's the one thing he never disappointed that. I mean, maybe people could critique him on the Uchiwali verse, but that's a club record. I mean, he gets a pass. I mean, it's a club record.
But then again, it makes me wonder how many of these were an executive decision and not his.
It's possible.
See, we don't know the whole story because a lot of times when you're signed, you don't get to choose.
Yeah.
Right. Oh,
I hear what you're saying at that moment.
Right.
So I felt like lyrically, he definitely gave.
Yeah, he came.
He came with it. You know, there's definitely stuff on there. You know, Nas has always had bars. You know, so
yeah.
Go ahead, Zaccheus.
Yo, he dropped some jewels on a lot of, especially No Bad Energy. He dropped some. I mean, he dropped jewels on a lot of joints, man. I mean, my gosh.
Yeah.
You know, the lyrically wise, he's still got it. And it's just him. It's just, I love that Wu-Tang Nas Mobb Deep lyricism nonstop. You know, it's just that East Coast. He kept it real with the East Coast flow. It's just that bringing back. It's just like that 90s golden era hip hop flavor that just makes people just want to hear it more, just hear more and more of it. You know, you can't get enough of it.
Yeah,
can't get enough. You know, can't get enough. Even there's a lot of lyricists, East Coast lyricists out there, especially Nas on top with the lyrical flow, and even the Wu didn't lose it at all. You know, and
nah,
there's a name.
That's true. You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Wu,
they just keep it.
You're right. The lyrics,
yeah.
the lyrics always was good with the Wu. It's just the sound change. But you're right about that, and I feel the same. You're right. The same thing with Nas as well. Same thing with I wouldn't necessarily say Mobb Deep. Mobb Deep has always been really consistent for the most part.
Yeah.
So I can't really say with them. They've been consistent. I'm thankful for you know, Havoc has to carry on the sound now, but yeah. So, you know, let's get into our scores here. Let's get into our scores.
Can I do, before we do the scores?
Yes, go ahead.
Honorable mention lyrically to Who Are You?
Yeah.
That, oh my goodness. And then, you know, just talking about the corner, just like, you know, talking about really what's going on in the streets.
Yeah.
And like, you know, us being tight-knit as a community, but, you know, people trying to grandstand.
Right.
That, you know, those are songs that are needed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's get into our scores real quick. We gotta wrap it up.
All right. I'm actually gonna give my scores first.
Okay.
So after reviewing this album, I think the album is good but not great. There's some ups and downs. There's some things that should be there, and there's some things that shouldn't be there. So out of 5, because we do a 5-star rating here, for those who don't know. So out of 5 stars, I'm gonna have to tie my score with Nasir and give it a 3.5 out of 5.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. That doesn't mean the album, when people hear that number, it doesn't mean that it's trash. It just means that it's not great. Because even though we talked about the songs that we like, if I was to compare it to everything else he has done, it still doesn't match up with a lot of that stuff.
So you're talking about somebody who's dropped classics.
Exactly.
A to Z classics.
Exactly.
Legendary.
No skip classics.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it a 3.5. Zaccheus, let me get into your score. See what you got out of 5. What you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 5.3, man. I mean, it was definitely, it was a good. Hold
on. What'd you just say?
I'm gonna give it like a I said a 5, but
you said a 5.
You
said okay. Hold on. We do halves. So we do halves and full.
Right.
So out of 5. And I should have just said 3.5, not 3.5. I'm sorry, I confused you. So I gave it 3.5 stars out of 5. All right. So now that I explained that, what do you give the album?
Now that you explained it, I'm gonna give it I'm gonna just give it a 4, man.
Okay, a 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4.
Any particular reason? Unpack that, because people want to know why you gave it a 4.
The reason why I'm giving it a 4 because he's been consistent on his lyrical game. I mean, as far as like dropping jewels and dropping knowledge and just the lyrical content is great. I mean, not all the beats are like spectacular, but Resident's production is great. Pete Rock's production is great. you know, Kanye's production is great. You know, just to name a few, productions are great. Lyrical content is great. It hasn't like fell off lyrically. So that's why I'm gonna give it a 4. It could be one of those albums that you gotta go back and listen to it again. You know, it could be one of those kind of albums. You know, so
yeah,
that's why I give it a 4. You know,
okay,
it could be one of those albums that you could definitely listen to it again. I can see myself tuning it again. You know, so yeah.
All right, Cinema, what's your score?
My score is the same as yours, 3.5.
3.5.
Yeah,
3.5 out of 5.
My bad. That's
fine. That's fine. I'm the one who confused y'all first, but okay. So let's
3.5.
Let's unpack.
You want to know why?
Yeah.
You want to know why? This is not like for the individual songs of lyricism. This is an A to Z album. Because for me, it went up, no bad energy, mad energy. Vernon, I went down. Jarreau, even though I liked it, I was confused. Then, because this doesn't belong on this album. This is a hot, creative concept, but it doesn't belong on this album. Right. I'm putting it on another mix that I got. It's going to stay in rotation, but it's not going to stay in rotation with any other song that's on this album. Then Lost Freestyle was straight fire. Tens in Asia, royalties. You get there, then Who Are You? I'm like, yeah, I'm hot. And then Adult Film brought me down. War Against Love kept me down.
Yeah.
Rock brought me up a little bit, but then we went back down 2 songs. And then the last 4 took me out.
Yeah.
2 lulls.
Yeah.
That's why. And you lost a half a star for each lull. And then you lost a half a star, even though I like Jarreau rap from my thing, because Al Jarreau's one of my jazz idols. I can't view this as a jazz album or a jazz song. It's a hip hop song, right? Because it's on a hip hop album. It's not on a jazz project. That's a compilation song. Exactly. So I understand why he put it there, because Al Jarreau is no longer with us. And mad respect to him for doing it.
Right.
I like it.
Right.
I'm gonna listen to it.
Right.
In context with other stuff. I like Nas's verse on it. It's a little. You don't hear him rap like that normally either. No. Right. So it goes into my thing of acquired taste, and I understand why.
That's true. It is.
If you're a hardcore Nas fan, I could understand from the door why you don't like it. Because, listening to him from, Back to the Grill Again, Live at the Barbecue, that's this is the only time he sounds like this. So that could have been, somebody should be getting an Al Jarreau tribute project together anyway.
Yeah.
But that's besides the point, So as an album, 2 dips and a song that's totally out of place, which is just a special dedication. You could have put that at the end of the album and it wouldn't have hit as bad.
Right.
Condolences. Yes. I remember when he passed, Al Jarreau. Condolences to his family. R.I.P. to Al Jarreau. I remember.
Right. I grew up on Al Jarreau. And my dad cut the teeth. I have Al Jarreau. I listen to it all the time. So that's going with my Al Jarreau stuff. Right. For real. So I'll still listen to it. But that could have been at the end of the album and it would have made sense. This is a thing where album order kind of hurt some of these songs.
Yeah. Well,
because I would have Tenacia, it's like I may listen to this album again, but I'm probably going to the playlist and change the order myself. And so basically, the half a stars were lost because of 2 dips in the order.
Right.
And then 3.5 stars. Then the Al Jarreau thing, even though I'm a fan of it, I gotta admit the truth. It's looking me in the face. Exactly. That was a WTF moment.
Yeah.
But when I went back and listened to it, knowing what it was, I enjoyed it. But I'm like, when I was in the car, because I was listening to this in my in the car because Great System in there, and that came on, and I was like, "Is that Al Jarreau?" Because I don't know who it is,
right?
Until he says the Al Jarreau rap. Oh, that's Al Jarreau scatting with him. It's artistic,
right,
but,
right.
not third song in.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Right. Definitely.
And so
that.
So basically that's still 3.5 is above average. 3 would be average. So 5 is perfect. 4 is great.
Right.
I
exactly.
can't.
Five is classic. 4 is great. 3 is good. Two is like trash. I mean, that's.
No, 1 is trash. 2
I mean, well,
like
1
mediocre.
is 1 is complete trash. But you don't want a 2 either. You like you want at least you want a 3 or above, man, because at least 3 means your album could be solid, but it's still listenable. I mean, 2,
right?
I mean,
5 is okay,
yeah. 5 is
I felt
classic.
good when a secular site gave me a 3 because I said you might not like the content,
right?
But you might like the way I'm delivering the content.
Hey, they respected the project,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. That's all that matters. So
I'm like that, So I would not disrespect this album,
exactly, right?
Because it's Nas, but but we're talking a total production standpoint where you do have classics on this album, clear classics on this album, and clear fire. Mm-hmm. So exactly. That's my score for that, and that's the reasoning behind it.
All right, so we're gonna get up out of here. What got announced today, and shout outs to Knife Prince. He said that they're dropping a Killer Army album August 1st.
What?
Yes.
What?
After all these years, the last time these brothers did an album was, I think, 2003. Let's see, their last album was 2001, Fear, Love, and War. Oh my God, this has been a long-awaited album for us as just Wu-Tang fans, Wu-Tang affiliate fans, Killer Army fans, whatever category I fit in. If y'all are Wu-Tang Killer Bees fans, you know who Killer Army is. Okay,
of course.
You're gonna know. They're up there with Sons of Man and all of that. So y'all know who that is. So I can't wait for that to drop. That'll be the next review that we do, unless somebody drops an album in between that surprises us these days. People got surprise albums.
Yeah, exactly.
But we'll definitely will be reviewing that. Knife Prince said that the album is called Full Metal Jackets. Yeah. So I can't wait. I expect that album to be dope, because the one thing about Killer Army is that they don't care about what anybody else is doing musically now. They do music for them and their people. Okay?
Yes.
So I definitely can expect this album to be I'm hoping it's a 4. You know what I'm saying? I really hope better than that. I hope it's a 4.5. So
right.
Yeah, exactly. It might be of course
I'll take a 5.
We all want 5s, but we all don't get 5s. But
that's true.
But hopefully that joint really lives up to what we expect from them. We know lyrically they're gonna kill it. I mean, they're one of the best lyricists, one of the best lyrical groups of all time. Those guys
of all times, yes.
Exactly. I mean, so
talk underrated.
They're definitely underrated for sure.
Super underrated.
For sure.
So we can't wait till they drop that. All right, so we're gonna get up out of here because I gotta go. Zaccheus, where can they reach you?
Yo, you can reach me on Twitter. Yeah, Wayne Backus 2 on Twitter. At Wayne Backus 2 on Twitter. Also on Facebook, Wayne Zaccheus Backus on Facebook, and also on Facebook, Instagram, Zaccheus B73 on Instagram. You can hit me up. Everybody, you can hit me up. Bless.
All right, Cinema, where can they get at you?
Music coming.
Cinemascapes, at Cinemascapes on Twitter, at Cinemascapes, and at Cinemascapes Music on IG, at Cinemascapes Music on Facebook. And, if it has a number on it, it ain't me.
All right. All right, y'all.
That's what somebody asked me something. My answer be on the next podcast.
All right, y'all can get at me at the Fifth General on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. That's at the Fifth General. All right. So we're gonna get up out of here, signing off. This was our Nas Lost Tapes 2-album review. Signing off. This is the Fifth General, Zaccheus and Cinemascapes. We'll see y'all on the next episode. There might not be an episode next week because our brother is going out of town. But you know, there'll be another one after that. That's fine. We've been consistent every week giving y'all stuff.
Oh yes.
If we not here next week, don't worry about it because we'll get back to it when our brother comes back in another week. So yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, we get. All right, definitely.
All right. So we're gonna get up out of here. All right. Peace, everybody. See y'all next time.
Peace.
Peace.
Next time. God bless. Peace.